Well, of course, the very unfun news this past weekend was Dak Prescott and his injury. You hate to see anyone, let alone a star quarterback, go out with a tough injury like that. I think the good news, from what I understand, is this is an injury that seems like most guys do fully recover from, so we're definitely hoping for that. But nevertheless, I mean, just having to go through, sometimes we sort of forget, just having to go through an injury like that is really difficult, just for a person in general. But, we'll put that aside for the rest of this video, and we're just going to talk about the football side of it. I've already given some of my thoughts about the injury on my podcast. I won't keep talking about it. We'll just try to get into football, try to move on. And I want to talk about Andy Dalton, because I do think this is a very interesting thing of, can Andy Dalton lead the Dallas Cowboys to a playoff appearance? And amazingly, they're currently in a playoff spot at 2-3, which is just very funny. And even further, can he maybe even do more than just get to the playoffs? But let's just talk about what he does well, what he does not so well, and how good he can be. One thing I like about Andy Dalton, and the reason why I like paying a little bit more money for a good backup as opposed to just drafting a backup, is because, Andy Dalton is just way smarter than any rookie, quite frankly. Like, take a look at this play, for example. It's cover 2 zone, and there's 3 players who we could try to throw to. Lamb is on the bottom of the screen, but he's actually going to look to the top of the screen first. He likes those 2 routes a little bit better pre-snap. But as you see, once this play starts, you notice that very quickly, it looks like 2 New York Giants are doing a pretty good job of realizing where those 2 Dallas Cowboys players are going to be running and trying to get into the way. You can tell that by the way their hips are turned. They're sort of turned closer to the middle of the field, just a little bit, but it's enough that you can tell, okay, there's a very real chance neither one of these guys will be open. So Dalton, he's not going to wait around. He's just going to go to another read because he knows there's other receivers who are running good routes on this play. So he's going to quickly look over to Lamb. So then he looks over there, and as you notice, this is a much bigger gap that he can throw to. The New York Giant player near Lamb sort of got over to his spot, didn't really pick up Lamb right there. Lamb is cutting right now as we speak. He kind of cuts a little bit weird. As you see, the throw is going to get a little bit, it wasn't a bad throw. It's kind of just an awkward catch. I almost wonder if that's a bit of them, not quite having the chemistry down just yet. But it was a good throw, and it was a good play, and it kind of just goes to show he can do those little things. And most quarterbacks can do those things, like Dak Prescott can do that for sure. But my point is that when you look at these younger guys, if you wanted to draft a backup, chances are the young backup isn't making that play. Dalton's a smart guy. He's been in the league for a while. He is able to make those types of plays. Another thing Dalton can do very well is I feel like, again, he has good arm talent. Maybe he's not quite top 10 in the league, but like he is in my opinion, he's easily a starting quarterback. He has, and by that I mean top 32 quarterback. He has good arm talent, and this play is a good example of it. It's going to be zone coverage. He has a receiver running it's a route that this kind of route can get open in this coverage. And it's not a spectacular route, but it is a route that can work, especially against this type of coverage. And watch how right when this ball is snapped, you're going to notice that there are 2 Giants who can potentially make the play. The reason why, they're a little bit further away is because they start off in the middle of the field, then kind of branch out. And so that's why this route can work. It's really if Amari Cooper, who is the receiver there, can sort of beat them out like that. That's kind of how it can work for Dallas. But what I like about this is that, this is a very difficult throw to some degree. For Andy Dalton, he has to make sure he gets it as far to his right as possible. So as far to Amari Cooper's right as well, as close to the middle of the field as possible as opposed to the sideline. And the reasoning for this is obvious, right? I mean, if he throws it, 2 yards to the sideline, now Amari Cooper is going to have to adjust, run back to make the catch, and then try to run forward again, and that's difficult to do. But of course, the flip side is if he throws it too far to where the New York Giants players are, that's how pick sixes happen. So that's why it's kind of a dangerous play. Even though it is a play that can work and get you yards consistently, all it really takes is one bad play or one good defensive play to have an disaster. But this is going to be a good throw. He makes a very accurate throw. Cooper is able to turn the corner, get at about as many yards as you could have asked for on that play. When it comes to the bad plays for Dalton, in this game, there was really only one. Typically for Dalton, there's not really a lot he does poorly. It's just he sometimes fails to really go above and beyond in too many ways. He made a really dumb decision this game, a really dumb decision. Here's what's going to happen is it's man coverage. There's just a quick curl right over there. This is often used as a setup route, but Dalton is going to throw it here. Once this ball is snapped, you notice James Bradberry, who is, one of the better corners in the league. Again, this is Amari Cooper, so maybe Dalton just wants to try and, feed Amari Cooper here because he is a good receiver. But you look at Bradberry and how well he's playing this. Specifically, what Bradberry is doing a great job of, and this is probably why, Dalton made this throw a little bit, is Bradberry's doing a great job of stepping closer to the quarterback, but just further towards the middle of the field, not necessarily further in. So this way, potentially Dalton can still make this throw, but Bradberry, since he is closer to the middle of the field, he has less room to cover than Cooper does, but it's a little bit more difficult to see from Dalton. But still, I expect Dalton to make these plays and not make this throw. Dalton does make this throw, and that could have easily been a pick six had it not quite been as quick, or had Bradberry just been able to get a little bit closer. I mean, that was, very dangerous. So, maybe part of that too was just him being new in the system. Maybe he was supposed to throw it to Cooper immediately, and it was really just a dumb coaching decision. I don't know. But that was dumb. Let's talk about something that isn't dumb. Let's talk about his end game heroics. So this is a very interesting play. This is going to be man coverage right here, and CeeDee Lamb is running over the middle of the field. That is where Dalton wants to throw the ball to. There's 40 seconds left right now. Dallas does have 2 timeouts left, and they're at their own 27-yard line. This is also cover 2 man, though, so with 2 safeties deep, and the way Lamb is kind of running in that area, this could end up not working out too well. And as you see, once this play starts, Lamb is going to not be open, as it's good coverage. And on top of this, there's a safety who does crash in. He's going to run over, and he's going to try to take away Lamb's route here. So it was kind of just good defense by the Giants. I think the Giants' defense is underrated, even though they did give up a good amount of points. Not all of it was by their defense, but nevertheless, Andy Dalton, he's going to see this now, and he's going to say, well, hey, at this point, I got to try to find something. Like, that's my first read. But you know what? I have time. I can run outside the pocket here to the top of the screen. And it's man coverage, which is a good time to run the football. So maybe he's thinking, like, I'll just run the ball. He is going to try to just run outside the pocket a little bit. Almost immediately after he does that, he's able to spot Michael Gallup, who is now open right here. And again, this is kind of the thing of where if a quarterback has enough time, eventually somebody's probably going to get open. Michael Gallup is open right here, so Andy Dalton is going to decide to make this throw. And watch this throw. I mean, off balance, he's able to still, sort of uses the edge of the sideline to his advantage, lets his receiver bring it back. Gallup is able to do so, uses a good receiver and Michael Gallup to his advantage. Just a good play from both of them. Later on, a very similar thing would happen. This is man coverage. Michael Gallup is running a deep route towards the sideline. That's the way this play is going to work. And with only a single safety deep, which, by the way, Andy Dalton does not know pre-snap that there is going to be a single safety deep. One of the things that Dalton has gotten criticism for in the past is being a great pre-snap quarterback and a poor post-snap quarterback. Well, not on this play. He is going to make this post-snap read very well. As you see, he notices that there's only one safety deep. He notices there's a one-on-one matchup with Gallup, and he likes that matchup, so he's going to just take a chance because worst-case scenario, it's an interception, and an interception is pretty much just as bad as having to punt it right here, so might as well just give it a shot. He sends one deep, and Gallup is able to make the catch. It was a good throw as well. And that was pretty much all she wrote. So yeah, that's what I thought of this game. I talked a lot about this game, but also about Andy Dalton as a whole. Listen, I think we all kind of know Andy Dalton is the kind of guy where when he's surrounded by great talent, he's great. When he's surrounded by not great talent, he's not great. Well, hey, he's surrounded by great talent. I think the Cowboys very much still have a chance to win this division, largely because it's the weak division, but I think they still have a chance to go 9-7. Really, I think that their offense is still going to be good, but their offense has never been the problem so far through 5 games. They need to figure out their defensive issues. I still think a lot of that's coaching. I think it's fixable mid-season, but they got to figure it out, or this could be still not a very great season. I think that Andy Dalton won't be the problem. It is obviously a downgrade from Dak, but I don't think it's as big of a downgrade as some people might realize. I think Dalton is still very good. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.